Uh, um, sorry. I was gonna put the curse down. I have the neon lights. Y'all know the vibe I usually do. I'm not gonna do that here. Not in this video. I'm gonna be really chilled about this and give my review for what I told you I would watch. I told you I would watch Popeye the Slayer Man, not the Sailor Man, the Slayer Man. I did a reaction to it a few days ago, and people wanted me to check it out. They wanted me to check it out. That was my first reaction to the movie. I didn't know it existed, and I was like, "What the heck, Popeye the Slayer Man?" And so I saw the first 5 minute trailer, and it had me intrigued. I said it before. I'm going to watch these movies if it's whether it's bad, terrible, good, whatever, just for shock factor alone. That classic cartoon legends like Winnie the Pooh, they having the Bambi one now, Popeye the Slayer Man, or whatever else they have coming up, the Mickey Mouse one that came out. I'm going to watch it for shock value. I'm going to, and I said it. I said these companies could actually be successful just because people are going to pay to watch to see what they're going to do with this. And I'm one of them. I went to see Popeye the Slayer Man. I'm getting right to it. Is this a great movie? No. But did I come into this thinking it was going to be a great movie? No. I said it when I did that reaction to the Popeye one, and I said it with Winnie the Pooh and them. These are not meant to be great movies. If you think it's great, then cool, that's your taste. But this, I really don't believe they made these movies for it to be great. They made it for the shock value and see what they can do with classic characters like Popeye. How can we make them into a horror? So for that, it's not, I mean, are we expecting Hollywood greatness, $200 million? No, no, no. This is something that's meant to be entertaining. Whether entertaining in a bad way, where it's a bad movie but it makes you laugh, or just entertaining where it's like the kills are at least good, something like that. But this is, let's be real here. This is what you're supposed to bring with friends or family and just laugh at situations. So yeah, was it entertaining? Yes. Is it the best that I've seen so far with these Winnie the Pooh and all that movie? No. But it's not the worst. I will put it that way. Let me get to the good parts first. The production was not bad for a movie company that we don't know is like a B-rated movie. So the production, I'm pretty sure they had little money put into this. They only had a certain budget. I'm pretty sure. And for what they was given, I ain't gonna front. They did well with it when it came to camera work and all that stuff. Like I said, the production, most of it was in this warehouse where Popeye lived in. And so for what they was given, it wasn't bad. For the production wise, I'm talking about. And let's get to the main person, Popeye. He wasn't as bad as I thought he was going to be. When I saw that trailer, I was like, okay. I mean, they put some thought into it. It wasn't just a dude wearing a mask and that was it. They gave him, like, he was talking. They gave, like, the arms. And for what I'm believing the budget was, which is low, he wasn't bad. He wasn't terrible. He wasn't like, oh my. Because one thing I was hoping, and because my wife watched it with me, and I told her that one thing I was hoping this movie didn't have was him acting like Bane and Batman and Robin. I don't know if y'all remember that George Clooney Batman movie, but Bane was like, Bane. I was hoping he wouldn't be like that. And I was glad he didn't. He actually talked. It was hard to hear what he was saying sometimes, but he actually had some dialogue. He wasn't just walking around like that. So they put some thought into it. They put some thought in his storyline. It wasn't out of this world amazing with the storyline, but they put some thought into it. I can respect that. That's really it when it comes to what the good about this movie. That's really it. Everything else, yeah, the acting. I am not going to say these actors' names because I do not want. I don't want to talk bad too much on people's acting because people can always get better, and some actors take what they're working with. I will say this: there is this one actress. She had black hair. Like I said, I don't want to say her name because I don't want to knock the hustle of trying to get better at your craft. But I don't know. It seemed like she was not interested at all. And the thing was, she was the main actress in this movie. she had a lot that was given to her more than the other actresses, and it seemed like she didn't care. It really. I told my wife that she even knew. She was like, "Yeah." It's like she's supposed to be scared, but she seemed like she's really like, or when something bad happens, it's like she has to force herself to be like sad or something. It was like, okay, you didn't really want to be here, did you? So, but yeah, that's not. It's not just her though. When it comes to the acting, I ain't gonna front. Nobody stuck out for me acting wise. But when it comes to these kind of movies, you're not. It's not a shocker that acting is bad. The shocker is when the acting is good, and it's like, wow, this person really stuck out. They put their heart into it, even in a low budget movie. But that was bad. My goodness, the one thing that I do expect from movies like this is if you're a low budget movie, a horror movie, and with acting that's very low quality and stuff, at least have your kills be good. No, the kills is actually disappointing, except for one. And the only one that was actually good was, I don't even know if they intentionally wanted to make it funny. The only reason that it was good was because it made my wife and I laugh. Because it was one of them kills that was like, are you serious? So, is it? I don't want to say because it's going to spoil. Let's just say someone died in the most dumbest way that made my wife and I crack up. And I said it, these movies are not meant to be good. Sometimes it's good, it's entertaining to have a movie that's so bad it makes you laugh, or that is fun. It's a good bad. This was a good bad moment. And I was like, oh my goodness. I wish I had recorded a live reaction. I was sitting there, I'm like, this is not, because you see it coming, you're like, there's no way. There's no way this person's gonna die. Like, it's just this one certain death with this female, this blondie. And I put the pillow over my head and I was like, are you kidding me? My wife was cracking up. That was the only good kill. And like I said, I don't even think that was by intention to make me laugh. Like, the Popeye kills were not. They had a Mortal Kombat reference with one of the kills. I guess I can spoil this because it's not that. I ain't gonna spoil like who exactly what happened. But it was a kill where he ripped a dude's arm off and he was beating it like Quan Chi does in Mortal Kombat. But it was low quality with the kills. You know, it was nothing memorable besides that one. So that wasn't good. It's good to watch just to see something that you grew up with. Like, I grew up with Popeye. To see him. You know, to see him in a different way outside of what we know. You know. So like I always say, I'm going to watch these movies no matter how good or bad it is. But I said in a reaction, I said I don't expect these to be amazing. If they're amazing, then I will let y'all know, and that's going to shock me. You know, but was it entertaining enough to say out for one showing? Yes, it was. I could not find it said it was in theaters. I could not find a showtime. And honestly, I'm glad I didn't go to a theater, spend popcorn money and all that stuff. Because when I go to the theater, I like buying popcorn and drinks and stuff like that. To spend all that money on this movie, this was one to watch at home. And you can find it on Fandango. There's nowhere else you can get it. I found it on Fandango, excuse me. And you can rent it for $5.99. It was, all right, I'll put it this way. It was worth the $5.99. But if I bought a ticket for me, which is like $10, my wife, another $10, then popcorn, drink, and my wife like candy. That's, the popcorn, drink, and candy is like $30. That's $50? I was, no. So if you do see it in theaters, I mean, if it's in wherever theater you live around, if it's showing there, don't. It's one of them to buy on stream. You know, $5. I think this is the first movie I ever said that too, to buy it on stream. But this, it's not good enough to see it in theaters. It's, if I have to rate this movie, I would give it a 4 out of 10. A 4 out of 10. The Popeye feature was not bad. The production was not bad. You know, hopefully, this is what I hope the company is successful enough in this movie where they can get a second one and maybe have better writing, better production. I'm pretty sure a lot of startup companies have had this issue. I've seen a lot of them. And then if they're successful enough, you see them get better. I hope they get better. I hope they win enough financially to get better. Hopefully, it was enough people like me who saw just to want to see Popeye, where it was enough where they can rack in some money to make another one. Who knows? I guess we'll find out. But yeah, if I had to rate this 4 out of 10, I'll warn you when you see this movie, the acting is very cringe. There's this one boyfriend, uh, with his two other homies. They were the bad guys of this. The boyfriend was not. It wasn't a good boyfriend, and he had these two friends. They were the worst. Oh my goodness, bro. You know. Oh my goodness. She ain't answering my phone calls. Other friend, that ain't right, bro. You gotta do something about that. I am not exaggerating. I am not exaggerating. I was like, all right. I'll put it this way. My wife and I agreed to this. We said this seems like a college project movie. But they was given enough money to at least make the production and Popeye decent. And that's why I'll give them. That's why it's a 4 out of 10, because they got the main attraction good enough, which is Popeye. His kills was okay, but the character himself and him talking with the production, like I said, it was smart having it basically all in one spot. That was smart. I'll give them credit for that. And it seemed like they put most of the money into that. Even though there was this one moment, I forgot. It just hit me now, where they showed Popeye's face and it looked like a CGI face. And I was like, why do that? You had the suit. I don't know, it looked like CGI. You'll know when you see it. It sticks out. But outside of that, they did a good job with Popeye. Yeah. I'm pretty sure the budget was really low. And I've watched a lot of low budget films. And so it gives me, I give companies a little bit more leeway, because they only have so much to work with. So 4 out of 10, I think is fair enough. Yeah, that's about it. It's not a great horror movie. It is blood and a couple gut scenes, with the kills. So yeah, was I scared? No. But for me, like y'all know me, like I always say, it's hard to scare me as it is, but my wife gets scared easily and she didn't get scared. So, yeah. That's about it. 4 out of 10. I watched it. I told y'all I would, so I'll let y'all decide if y'all should see. Well, y'all want to know all right. Y'all want to know if y'all should pay $6. If you know Popeye, the Sailor Man, I would. If you're not knowledgeable of Popeye the Sailor Man, you didn't watch it, you never heard of it, or you heard of it but never seen it, I wouldn't bother. If the way I would go to this is, if I didn't know who Popeye was and I saw that trailer, I wouldn't have saw it. The only reason I'm seeing these movies like this, Winnie the Pooh and the other ones, is because I know these characters from before. I grew up with these characters, and to see these companies change them is interesting. If you do not know Popeye at all, watching stuff or whatever, it wouldn't interest you. So I wouldn't say it. But if you did, like me, just see it for the just interested value. Just like, let's just see what they do with this. It's an hour and a half long. I think they could have made it shorter. Some parts I think they dragged out, but hour and a half is not bad. But yeah, that's how I'll put it. Yes, see it if you know what Popeye the Sailor Man, you watch them and all that other stuff. Outside of that, no. No. But yeah, that's my review. 4 out of 10. But thank y'all so much for tuning in. I'll see y'all later. Thank y'all for y'all support.